NFL fans, welcome back to another episode of the J All Day NFL Show, guys. And what do you know? Week 9 was crazier than Week 8. You have a better chance of closing your eyes and picking teams that are going to win blindfolded than you do having any sort of analysis at all whatsoever. The Packers lose at home. The Lions lose at home. I don't know what's going on. Do you know what's going on? I have no idea what's going on. It makes you think, like, what are we even doing this for? But I digress. We're on to Week 10. Let's get it going, guys. Underdog is sponsoring today's video, guys. The spot for pick'ems this NFL season. You simply pick higher or lower on 2 or more of your favorite players to get in the game, guys. Simply choose your entry fee, and for being a part of the J All Day community, Underdog is giving you guys a great opportunity. Use the promo code J All Day. Play $5 to get $100 in bonus funds. Guys, we got 4 teams on the bye. We have the Bengals, the Cowboys, the Titans, and the Chiefs. We got 4 teams coming off the bye. The Browns, the Eagles, the Jets, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We're going to kick things off on Thursday Night Football, guys. We got the Raiders and Denver. Pete Carroll, what's going on with the Raiders? I mean, I just have no idea. They have a chance to tie the game up at the end. Pete Carroll goes for 2. They miss. They lose, as all my bets on the Raiders go in the trash, man. But the Broncos held off the Texans. The only reason they won that game is because C.J. Stroud in the first quarter takes a whack to the head, which I thought was a penalty. He's out for the rest of the game. They barely win that game. But a win is a win is a win, right? And D'Amico Ryans at the end of the game just not running the ball, giving Bo Nix plenty of time to go ahead in that spot. D'Amico Ryans is a terrible football coach, guys. I mean, he's just awful. The Broncos win this game at home for sure. The Raiders' defense is absolutely terrible, right? The offense looked a little bit better with Brock Bowers back in the mix for sure, guys. And the Broncos outscored the Texans 11-0 in the fourth quarter to come back and win that game. They didn't play great. You know, I thought that the Texans would have won that game. If C.J. Stroud plays that whole game, there's no doubt in my mind that they win that game. But injuries happen in the NFL. Losses this week. So far for the season, we're 83-48-1, guys. Do me a huge favor. Hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel. And if you are into sports betting, check out my memberships, guys. It's been really tough sports betting this year. I mean, the fact that we're still in a double up this year from our initial investment just goes to show you how much work we put in each and every week, because it is a shit show out there, guys, for sure. And people are definitely losing interest in betting because the NFL has just been, it makes no sense. It makes no damn sense. The Broncos get a W at home. Next up, we got a game in Germany. Atlanta Falcons almost had the comeback, but they missed an extra point, lose by 1 point. That was a heartbreaker for the Falcons against New England in that spot. It didn't really play particularly well. This game's in Germany versus the Indianapolis Colts. And oh my goodness, Daniel Jones became Daniel Jones again, guys. 5 turnovers, 2 fumbles, 3 interceptions. Holy shit show, Daniel Jones. Oh my gosh. And the fact that they only lost by 7 and they had 6 turnovers blows my mind. As a team, 3 picks, 3 fumbles. Holy shit balls, Daniel Jones. That was a tremendously horrific performance, right? Wow. I have no words to say. How you turn the ball over 6 times and still only lose by 7 just goes to show you how bad the Steelers actually are, right? But, man, this is a tough one to pick, man. The Falcons offense looked a little bit better. Drake London balled out as always, right? 9 catches, 118 yards. Bijan struggled again, 12 carries, 46 yards. The Falcons are really struggling to run the football. Offense is definitely not gelling outside of Drake London. They don't have much offense, right? And the defense, you know, starting to regress towards the mean with that pass defense that was really good the first half of the year. Who wins this game? I'm going to go with the Colts to get back on the winning ways. I don't think Daniel Jones is going to turn the ball over 5 freaking times again. What a shit show, man. Holy bejesus. Sweet baby bejesus, Daniel Jones. 3 picks, 2 fumbles, OMG. But I'm going to roll with the Colts in this game in Germany. Next up, we got the Giants and the Bears. The Bears defense is straight, hot, fudge, dumpster garbage. They allowed Joe Flacco, 41 years old, 470 yards. W What in goodness gracious is going on with that Bears defense? 470 yards, but boy, oh boy. We had a bet on Kyle Monangai in the over with yards this week. He did great, 26 carries, $176. The Bengals defense is so bad. It's crazy, man. If one thing I noticed about the NFL this year is like, there's a lot of really mediocre teams, man. I'm seeing a lot of sloppy football all over the league. Missed assignments, missed tackles, missed kicks, bad interceptions. The league is like no one's playing really great football across the whole NFL right now. There's not one team where I'm like, this team, week in and week out, are playing fundamentally sound football. Except for the Colts. And then this week, holy Jesus, 6 turnovers. Whoa, baby! Giants. I mean, Jackson Dart is doing what he can with what he has right now. Tyron Tracy had a bunch of drops. The Bears' offense looked pretty good with Loveland breaking out, 6 catches, $118, 2 tutties. Caleb Williams, he's still so inaccurate with the football. 20 of 34, 283 touchdowns. But man, that accuracy is really, really, really bad. This Giants front seven could be a little troublesome for Caleb Williams and company, man. I hate betting on Caleb Williams because he's really, really tough to love right now, man. But the Giants are just so short-handed right now. I'm going to roll with the Bears in this spot to get a win. But, man, that defense is super bad. But I don't know if the Giants have enough on offense to take advantage of it. They don't have T. Higgins and freaking Jamar Chase, right? So they're not dealing with that kind of offense this week. So that's why I'm going to go with the Bears. Buffalo Bills, big win over the Chiefs this week. I had the Chiefs. I thought they would win in this spot. But the Bills played their best team defensive game of the year. Before this, the Bills' defense has been pretty terrible all year, especially against the run. Not having Pacheco was a huge deal for the Chiefs. They weren't able to overcome that, in my opinion. But the Dolphins got their brakes blown off of them, 28-6 by the freaking Ravens. But remember, they're getting a little bit of a mini bye this week. Bills go on the road down to Miami, but I think the Bills are going to rock and roll. There's so much dysfunction going on with the Dolphins, but I think this game's going to be pretty close. If we see a big spread like 14 or 12 points, I'm going to go with the Miami and the points, but I like the Buffalo Bills here on the road. Next up, we got Baltimore at Minnesota. How the Vikings and J.J. McCarthy beat Jared Goff at home. My brain is fried. Up is down, down is up, right is left, left is right. My brain, the hamster in my brain is just falling off the wheel, man. I don't know what the hell's going on. I feel like I'm living in the freaking Twilight Zone, man. I like the Ravens to win this game. The defense is playing a lot better. Lamar Jackson in his first game back, 4 touchdowns versus the Dolphins. I mean, that defense is trash. But, man, Vikings defense played pretty good. Blake Cashman had 14 freaking tackles. What a freaking stud. They love having him back. Van Ginkel's back. J.J. McCarthy throws for 143 yards, and they win on the road. I don't know what the hell's going on, man. David Montgomery had a really big fumble that kind of, set them back. But I'm going to roll with the Ravens here on the road. I don't believe in J.J. McCarthy long term. I think the Ravens are finding something right now. They're going to go on a heater. A freaking heater! All right, Browns at the Jets. Well, this game's going to be really exciting. Wait, I'm super lying, but I'm going to go with the Browns here. I think that defense is going to be too much for Justin Fields. Who cares? It's the Browns versus the Jets. Who cares? I don't care. Do you care? Nobody cares. Jets fans haven't cared in 40 years. Same thing for the Browns. But I love the Browns defense versus this Jets offense. We'll have to see if Garrett Wilson's back and Sauce Gardner, but I'm going to roll with the Browns here on the road. I just don't think Justin Fields is going to have any answers to Myles Garrett and the Beast Mode. But remember, the trade deadline is this week, guys, so a lot can potentially change as we move towards the middle of the week of my picks with scores and my final picks on Fridays, right? Again, guys, do me a huge favor. Hit that subscribe button. Like 50% of the people viewing these videos aren't subscribed, guys. Come on. Do me a solid. Hit that subscribe button. New England at Tampa Bay. I think the New England Patriots are probably going to be favorites here, but I'm going to go with the Buccaneers here. Coming off a bye, they're going to be a lot healthier. And when this team is healthy, man, they're going to rock and roll. Patriots barely escaped that game versus the Falcons. They just looked okay. The offense looked pretty pedestrian. Drake May, 19 of 29, 259, 2 tutties, and an interception. I think the Buccaneers, that Todd Bowles defense, can, do some different things that can confuse Drake May, maybe force a turnover or two. I'm going to go with the Buccaneers at home coming off a bye there, guys. But Patriots got another win. Barely, but they still got a W. New Orleans versus Carolina. Man, talk about some shitty games this week, guys. The Saints got their brakes blown off of them by the Rams. We all kind of saw that coming. And how did the Panthers beat the Green Bay Packers? Like, what? My brain hurts, man. Bryce Young threw for 102 yards and an interception, no touchdowns, and they won. What's happening? What is happening, guys? What's happening? Rico Dowdle goes 25 for a $132 tutties. I guess Carolina by default, but I don't know. Who the hell knows? Who cares? Carolina, I'm going to roll with the Panthers right now. Bryce Young is terrible. They have no passing game. Rico Dowdle continues to rip off 100-yard games like he's going out of style. I don't understand what the hell's going on. To go into Green Bay and win with Bryce Young throwing for 102 yards and an interception and no touchdowns, it's just mindfuckery to me, guys. So now let's go on to Jacksonville at Houston. Jaguars pulled that game out of their butthole against the Raiders. Pete Carroll, I swear to God. But Geno Smith is just awful. He's so hard to watch. They were awful in the red zone, but that's neither here nor there. Let's talk about the Jaguars. They're just continuing to make a lot of little mistakes. But if no C.J. Stroud, the concussion looked not good, so he's probably not going to play in this game. Their backup quarterback, pretty mid, whatever the hell his name is, Mills or whatever. They have no shot without C.J. Stroud. I'm going to roll the Jaguars here on the road. But, man, that Houston Texans defense is so good. They win that game 10 out of 10 times if C.J. Stroud doesn't get hurt. But once again, the Broncos get lucky, and C.J. Stroud gets hurt in the first quarter. That should have been a penalty. That's some bullshit in my opinion. How's that not head and neck area? I'll never know. I don't get it. But it was a little bit of a late slide, so it is what it is. All right, Jaguars get it done on the road. Arizona versus Seattle. I'm going with Seattle at home all day long. They play tonight versus the Commanders. Remember, Commanders have no Terry McLaurin. Seattle has been rocking and rolling. That offense looks pretty good. So does the defense, man. So, I mean, Jacoby Brissett's getting another start versus the Cowboys on Monday night. Kyler Murray's definitely not going to be 100% if he plays in this game. He's got to go on the road in Seattle. It's going to be cold and shitty. And you think Kyler Murray's going to go there and ball out on the road? No chance. Seattle gets a big W there. Rams at San Francisco. San Francisco kicked the dog snot out of the Giants. They look pretty good. Christian McCaffrey's a freaking dog. Mac Jones played well. 19 of 24. 235, 2 tutties, no interceptions. You know, Christian McCaffrey, C-Mac, 28 carries, 105 yards and a touchdown. He added another touchdown and 5 catches for 67 yards. But, man, they're giving him way too many touches, man. They're going to wear the tread off of the Christian McCaffrey tires if they're not careful, man. Rams, they just look really good right now, man. I'm going to go with the Rams here to win. Brock Purdy probably plays in that spot, but I don't know. Mac Jones looked pretty good this week, so they're not going to rush Brock Purdy back. But the Rams are going to be tough to beat. I think the 49ers got lucky earlier in the year when they beat the Rams. I don't think the Rams lose twice to San Francisco. Let's go with the Rams here. Lions. Washington. Lions so disappointed, man. How you lose to J.J. McCarthy at home blows my freaking mind. The Vikings ran the ball down their throat. This Lions defense just not good. They didn't struggle. They struggled to run the ball versus the Vikings. Laporta and Amon-Ra St. Brown both had 97 yards. Receiving, David Montgomery, big fumble that they lost. They also had 10 penalties and 76 yards. If you turn the ball over and you commit 10 penalties, it's hard to win whether at home or not. Just so disappointed in Jared Goff, man. Just a bummer, man. I thought this defense was turning a corner, getting healthier, but that was not the case there. We'll see how Jaden Daniels looks without Terry McLaurin. I think McLaurin's going to be out for several weeks, man, but we'll have to see. I'm going to go with the Lions on the road here. That Washington Commanders defense looks really, really old. They did last week. We'll see how they look tonight versus the Seahawks. Next up, we got the Pittsburgh Steelers, LA Chargers. Joe Alt, he's probably done for the year. He had to get carted off the field, another ankle injury. And we saw what happened to the Chargers without Joe Alt. They couldn't run the ball at all. Once Joe Alt left, the offensive line, Herbert's running for his life again. What a bummer for the Chargers. I'm going with the Steelers here. You know, they forced 6 freaking turnovers versus the Colts. Defense played a lot better. Maybe that defense is turning a corner. And going up against a shitty offensive line with the Chargers with Rashawn Slater and Joe Alt both being out, I'm going with Pittsburgh Steelers. And then my Philadelphia Eagles! What a shitty week when the Birds don't play. But Tucker Kraft tears his ACL, done for the year. That's a huge bummer. Another reason why they lost to the Carolina Panthers. You can't predict injuries, guys. We didn't do great with our picks this week, but when superstars get hurt, CJ Stroud, Tucker Kraft, you're up Schitt's Creek without a paddle, man. That's where we were this week with the injuries, right? Eagles get it done on the road. Coming off a bye, no Tucker Kraft. They're going to kick the shit out of the Packers. Go Birds! All right, NFL fans, thank you so much for being a part of this community. And remember, today's video is brought to you by Underdog, guys. Underdog has been a great sponsor of the channel. You put in $5. If you're a new customer, you get $100 in bonus funds. So much fun. I love myself some Underdog, guys. Thank you so much for being a part of the community again. You guys are the best. I appreciate the support.